Hi. I noticed there has been many visitors lately, up to 100 and 800 each total. I don't really know what that number actually means. Anyway, a late up to speed introduction is in order. I'm Shadi Reza, 38 years old from Lebanon. At the center of the continent, not bragging at all, you'll know later why I'm mentioning that. So specialized in video and film, work in that field for almost 2 decades, now content creator, and most importantly, comic maker. And last year I launched my first comic, Dayem. Before that, I wrote down so many stories and scripts. I was very inspired all along by Batman and Justice League, Flash, and so many graphic novels. And then I got into anime heavily so, and got curious how the famous manga are made and read a lot. I was already so into black and white, and seeing such art that portrays action, romance, chemistry, drama, comedy, adventure, lifestyle, food, sports, martial arts, and choreography so beautifully, and even more enjoyable to see how my favorite anime frames got made from the manga comic panels. It's magic work. I also looked into all animated series and films like Batman, Superman, Justice League, and I really wish there was or would be a Flash animated series. I mean, wouldn't that be so awesome? I even tried to rain my movie night with animations with my friends. Sorry, bad habit. Anime character laugh. The truth is, I lived fantasies to the point that once at the part-time job I was on a call. I pressed the phone away to my chest to let out the laugh. The famous laughter because it rhymed inserted into the conversation. Well, that's the kind of life and mindset I've been leading. I published issue 1 of Dayem series by some miracle as first comic ever. I know when I look back now there are tons of improvement I could have done, and there will be more. But you know what? When I read it again, I'm very satisfied and convinced that this is how it should start. I'm proud even. Someone interviewed me and wrote an article about it. They did focus more, however, on how I managed to make a comic during the Lebanese crisis and what kind of causes I will tackle. Wanted to talk more about the comic though. The comic word itself, yeah. Until a comic expert was inserted somehow in the article, and he talked about the hardships. Well, it is hard. Speaking of which, on the other hand, remember there was war here. Still is. People die daily. There's always a guilt trip going on about, should I be doing this now, or is it that I should face the current and do despite? I know about my helplessness sometimes to make actual supportive initiatives more than anyone. A wrongdoing. But what makes things worse is having to bear that a big part of the word connectors, for them, some people do not matter, do not have rights, do not earn the least empathy, children, newborns even. I mean, I will not apologize. I do want to tread to my comic making separately, yet carrying on under these circumstances, normalizing, neutralizing, ignoring, to say the right word, are not comparable with the tragedies that go on until this day, but this isolation from this brute reality take a heavy place in my heart and is deemed impossible. I tried at least to place my investments carefully. The system eventually supports big authority and cash flow. Thus, what is left for the artist to earnestly make a living while earnestly expressing true thoughts and feelings, being a voice of freedom, portraying it, or at least supported. Throughout history, artists spoke for their revolutions and human rights achievements. People, my protagonist is a hero, and what's more, fighting corruption. Dayem is an opposite element appealing to Lebanon. I chose this character and this beginning with making a functioning train because they pound in my heart heavily. As I traveled Europe and crossed Belgium on a way that almost felt like it's floating on water, and as I infinitely dreamt of train crossing Lebanon coasts and mountains to the point that I forgot when those dreams ever began, and as I daydreamed of a fantasy that would make my home the places and people I cherish, make them have a better aura, a better mood, a better atmosphere. That's why there's always a scale to events and circumstances in stories. Imagine throughout the experience of one story, I learned so much, and all that long came after drafting plots for Dayem for at least 6 volumes ahead. Came long after that. File, doing the actual thing, the now, living the present moment, working on panels, the storyboard, the character design updates. All that aside, I'm happy to announce officially another timeline from Dayem, a mini-series that takes place during this phase until the next issue is out, introducing the other main characters, Gina and Peter, giving us a taste separately of what it's like to really be inside the storyline of Dayem. That word is skipping a few introductory and opening parts, which will be probably and nicely proceed in the series. In the mini-series, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 and bam. Plus there are other comic titles I am also little by little building up. Okay, wow, talked a lot and not even one word of Arabic. I'm supposed to be producing a comic mainly Arabic. Maybe I'll post another time a video like I wanted about it and languages. So bottom line, what do I want from you? First, if you related to anything I've said, you want to support or be part of my story making, there are many roles that would suit how much you'd like to get involved. Like the post, join the membership, free or more. You'll see there are several. I recommend trying the lowest one and climb your way up to a higher tier, depending on the growth of your excitement. Either way, having any kind of community of any number for Dayem and my work is a very happy thought. 2 even more important roles. First, commenting on the post, the work. Your feedback is really important to me. The kind of community that supports artists and independent art. Second, sharing with your friends and family, contacts, anyone you feel that they'd relate or would be interested. To be fully honest, the most valuable marketing for indie art community is you. The passionate readers, audience fans who value art, the various kinds there are, and who value the hard efforts of artists to present their work. I'll wrap it up with a little surprise. How did Dayem turn black and white? Another additional, I'm using exclusive episodes for members.